That's right, bitches, budda-ites, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm back. And guess what, all? I have a very special person on here today. And my last video, you could scratch it. Oh well, I'm not taking it down, but oh well. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking with right now?
Yo, 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 this is Pizza Pay.
That's right. So, Miss Pay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been scam baiting, just what, Jason does here. Scam baiting for about, how long would you say we've been doing this for?
I know myself personally, I've been doing it since 2012, but you and I think sometime this month or last month, it's been a year or so.
Yeah, I would say I've been scam baiting for, about a year. It's just something that I like to do. I know this is going to sound really weird, but for fun, because, when you waste these people's time, you're stopping them from having other victims, and it's just kind of a fun thing to do. If you're like just kind of mad at the world or something, you can get back at these assholes. So
Yeah,
there you go.
See, that's one thing I've been telling people, like my people that I hang out with in my everyday life, and I've also had conversations with other people. They're like, well, if you don't, even on 800 notes, which I love so much, but what aggravates the shit out of me, besides some of the comments on 800 notes, about people in general, well, if you don't recognize the number, don't pick up and don't,
Oh God.
and just block them. Don't pick up and just block the number.
Exactly. And then when you go on 800 notes, you get these like people who are like, oh, this number called me unsolicited, unknown number, they're probably scammers out to get me. Well, if you don't, exactly what you said, if you don't want that number calling you, just block it, and then, there you go. You don't have to, put it on a site that you can report scams, because it's just a waste of, time.
Exactly, because it's like, if you're gonna take that time to say, or even those stupid fucking comments, didn't answer, scam. How the fuck do you know if it's a scam or not?
Exactly.
Because in my experience too is, it might be a legitimate. Now here's a little advice for people too. Okay, there's a law out there where it's like the having a brain fart here. But there's a law out there that say if you pick up the phone and they're looking for a family member or even somebody that you don't even friggin' know, and you tell them, that person doesn't live here, this ain't a good number out there, and to ask them nicely, hey, please take me off the call, their or out of their database. Well, what you have to do is make sure you write it down, the phone number, and also the company name. So, because if they call again, you could write down the number, document it, and stuff like that, and you could actually get it's the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act or something like that. And you can look it up online, you can get a lawyer, and if you have the proper documentation, you give it to them, explain what it is, and if they think it's a good enough case, you can get up to $1,000 or more.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's way better than just reporting it to a 800 note site. I mean, I would do that.
Yeah, because I've gotten about over the last 4 years, I've gotten I say about $4,000 or $5,000 out of that.
Oh wow.
Because
yeah, and then
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I don't. I that again, like what you were saying, it's just funny to see how people, they're just like, oh, this number called me and I guess they're a scam. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a scam. I mean, it could just be a wrong number. But on 800 notes, like, if you go on it, there's a whole bunch of real active scammers out there who people do report, and that's why I recommend it for, like, if you get a call from a number that's actually scamming you, you can go there and report it, and then people like us, we go on there and then call them up and waste their time all day. So
Yeah, because that's one thing I try to tell these people as well, like the friends of mine, like outside, I deal with on a daily basis. They're like, oh, that's just a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. But here's a quick little story myself. Somebody kind of busted my balls about that. Oh, why do you even why do you even, tie up their phone lines or talk to them or blah, blah, blah. And a friend of mine actually, and I told him why, then come out about 6 months later, they came like, my 75-year-old aunt or uncle or whatever it was, got one of those computer scams and they got their bank account wiped out, blah, blah, blah. And I told them not to be a dick or anything, but okay, yeah, somewhat of a dick. I'm like, now do you see why? I'm like, if I could just prevent one person, someone's grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, mom, daughter, kid, whoever, if I can prevent one person from getting scammed, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly. And probably, I would say, the more time you waste with one person, I mean, if they just instantly hang up, you need to immediately call back, because that's one person who gets ahead of you in the line and then gets scammed. I mean, if they're naive and stuff, I mean, usually they just target older senior citizens, because most people don't, believe in this stuff. But you get people who do, and it's just good to waste as much of their time as possible. And sometimes you can form a bit of a relationship with some of them, like the flawless elite people, who we made so mad that they eventually just pretended to be our friends because we would call them every day.
Yeah, that's one of the ones. I personally think we broke them, and now they're to the point where, like, fuck it, these guys again. Well, even though they're like, well, the longer we got you on the phone, it's one less agent or whatever that you're, making cry or want to quit or screw up their core or whatever the hell it is, and it's like, hey, it's one less. Go ahead, think that, but then again, that's one less lines that they have to use to, you know, fuck people out of money and shit like that.
I don't know. And then normally, it's like a call center. Like, they just sit there and what's sad is they just sit there and scam people all day. And I know some people who just work there because, they have to and stuff, but you should never get a job at a notorious scam company. I mean, usually it's not American people doing it, but it's more overseas, like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, just, countries sort of third world. I don't really think they could help it either, but it's just, don't call us. Please.
And on that point too, even though a lot of people, I once in my old conspiracy days talking about, this, that, the other, but a lot of people don't know that, like, India is kind of like a commonwealth of England, and with America giving foreign aid to India, they've given them billions of dollars, billions.
Yeah, totally.
But yet they turn around and try to, scam more money, because if anybody knows about the petrodollar, what it's called, or the American dollar, going back well over 100 years when America had the Federal Reserve Bank and everything. Well, that's a whole different show or whatever, but the American dollar has lost over 90% of its value. But yet it's pretty much most of the world currency. So, yeah, that's just a side note. But yeah, I don't. But then again, you see myself, you see those Dateline things about not only the phone call scams, but the email scams. And yes, there are greedy people out there. I'm Prince Habib, and I want to give you, $25 billion or whatever. There are greedy people out there who will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars up. But that just shows that some people are just fucking greedy.
Yeah, and that's right. And then along the lines of, like that Nigerian friend who sends you an email and is like, oh, you've lost a relative and they have money for you or whatever. Another way they'll reach out to you is email. Like, I've gotten some of the randomest things. I could probably look it up right now, and I would have like 4 or 5 emails from these people. Jamaica, Africa. Where would it be in Africa? Like, what's the place called? The Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria. The 419.
Yeah, and then there's all sorts of stuff that comes from there. Like, I kept getting these people who were calling my grandparents and saying they had a package for them waiting. And they would tell them there's a package for them waiting at the UPS office, but there really wasn't. There was no package at all. And they needed to send them money in order to get the package to them or something like that. And of course, my grandparents didn't really acknowledge it because they never ordered any packages. So they knew, but they'll try to do stuff like that. And I mean, common sense definitely plays a good part in not getting scammed by these people, I would say.
Alright, but for now, until I upgrade on my speaker, for this part 1 session with Miss Pay, pizza if you're nasty. Sorry, Janet Jackson, I know bad reference, but if, question for you, Miss Pay, is you want to do a couple more interviews and calls, or what's your...
I think right after this, we should go in on a call someone up, just, maybe that would be good.
Alright, well, for what it's worth, since Chewy's not here, but she is here in spirit, she's at home relaxing in front of a fan because it's 90-something degrees here in where I'm at with a heat index over 100, so yeah, I'm sweating my keister up. But with that said, me and Miss Pizza Pay will be back here shortly. So Irish Buddha and pizza out, yo.